Hello and thanks for joining us. You're watching LN 24/7 and this is Politics Now. My name is Ayobami Adeyemo. Yes, today we'll focus on the Edo governorship election legal battle. And our talking point, we'll be looking at analyzing Monday Okpebholo'S round 1 victory and Asuye Ighalo's takes the fight to the appeal court. Will be part of our conversation. Also, we'll be looking at the Edo State on the Governor Okpebholo'S watch. As I've been improving, this will definitely frame our conversation on the program. And to join us to have that discussion, we have our guest that'll be joining us, Comrade Sosa, where he's a political analyst. He'll be joining us to have a straight conversation on the matter. And in the part B of today's politics now, we'll be looking at tackling insecurity in Benue State, assessing fresh killings in West and Otukpo local government area. We'll also be looking at measures taken in tackling this issue, also resolving farmers' elders clashes in the state. And to join us on the program, we will be looking at having Dr. Thaddeus Toti Uto. He is the chairman RAV Development Association of Benue State. He is also the former security secretary of local government area service commission. He'll be joining us on the program today. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll dive straight into the conversation. Politics Now on LN 24/7. Stay with us, please. All right, let's begin immediately to Edo State now. The Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo and All Progressives Congress APC have won round 1 of a series of petitions challenging their declaration as winners of the September 21st, 2024 governorship election in Edo State. According to some reports now, a petition instituted against them by the Action Alliance AA and also one Adekunle Rauf Omwaje was thrown out of the Edo State governorship election petition tribunal for lacking merit and being not up to standard, for being based on election-related matters. The tribunal also held that Omwaje did not participate in the governorship election, as such has no power to question the validity of the election. Meanwhile, the Edo State governorship election petition tribunal dismissed the petition filed by the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and their governorship candidate Asuye Ighalo, challenging the result of the September 21st, 2024 governorship election. And let's take a look at some of the major conversation. Yes, and in the major conversation now, Edo State election petition tribunal judgment. We're looking at the PDP versus Okpebholo case. And of course, we're also looking at the tribunal, noting that Ighalo and the PDP failed to call key witnesses to support the claims and merely presented documents without a proper testament. Also, the court emphasized that to prove overvoting, and the petitioners were required to tender the voter registers and of course the BVAs and Form EC 8A, which they failed to do in accordance with the law requirement. The tribunal stated that most of the 19 witnesses called by the PDP merely gave hearsay evidence during the proceedings. And in swift response to the tribunal ruling, the legal experts, the communities, and of course observers and the public affairs analysts have continued to fault the Edo governorship tribunal judgment, noting that the relevance of the tribunal on the non-provision of witnesses in all the areas Asuye Ighalo alleged irregularities was faulted and subject to contestation in the higher court, and that the tribunal would probably require Aswe Ugurado to provide physical witnesses in as many as the areas of irregularities which he alleged. Having provided evidences like the CTCs in those areas which could be, which definitely said would be a necessity, and also the demand for that particular document. And also a breach of the Act guiding the conduct of elections. According to Section 137 of INEC's Electoral Act 2022 states, it says, it shall not be necessary for a party who alleges a non-compliance with the provisions of the Act of the conduct of elections to call oral evidence if originals of the certified true copies manifestos disclose the non-compliance alleged. So what does this mean? Well, we'll be looking at that anyway. And meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party candidate faulted the outcome of the election on the grounds of non-compliance with the Electoral Act and the failure of Monday Okpebholo to secure a majority of the lawful votes cast. Putting that in contest, the PDP governorship candidate alleged improper computation of votes by INEC and non-serialization of electoral materials and overvoting. Also, Senator Monday Okpebholo called on the opposition and the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Asue Ighodalo, to join hands in the spirit of unity and work together for the progress of Edo State. Chief Press Secretary noted that it was time to put aside partisan differences and focus on common goal of building a better future of the state. In contrary, the People's Democratic Party has rejected the judgment of Edo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, insisting that its candidate, Asue Ighodalo, won the September 21st, 2024 elections. The party vowed to challenge the ruling at the Court of Appeal, and proud to announce copies of an unsigned document which has been purportedly to be the judgment of the Edo State Governorship Election Tribunal, petition tribunal, surfaced online, stirring controversies and speculations. The leak has raised questions about the authenticity of the document, with many wondering whether it represents the tribunal's actual decision. And like I said, our guest joins us on this conversation. Comrade Esosa Ewe is a political analyst and a member of Edo State PDP. He joins us via a video call from Benin, Edo State. Thank you so much for joining us, comrade, on the program today.
Thank you so much, my brother.
All right, let's look at it. What's your reaction to the judgment of the tribunal?
The judgment of the Edo Election Petitions Tribunal hit us with very deep surprise and shock. And we feel and strongly believe that the tribunal, however impartial it may have been in the course of hearings, starting from Benin and later in Abuja, did not depend on the evidence, the compelling evidence that PDP as well tendered to it to arrive at the final judgments that it gave. Because the evidence that were submitted or tendered to the tribunal by way of Form C8A, by way of beavers, by way of all documentary evidence, were certified true copies by the electoral body, INEC, And we thought that with the array of evidence that were tendered before the tribunal and the statements of our witnesses, 19 of them, there ought to have been references, there ought to have been an analysis, deep, painstaking analysis of those evidence to ensure that the judgment being arrived at it flows out from everything that the tribunal had in front of it to ensure that the judgment is acceptable, the judgment is credible, and the judgment is a reliable and fair one. But it appears the judgment was a discretionary judgment, despite constitutional provisions and the Electoral Act for which was invoked in the course of hearing and all that. So we strongly believe that there are gray areas in the judgment, there are issues with the judgment, there are discretionary dispositions with the judgment that ought not to be. So we are not satisfied with the judgment, and we do believe that the appellate court should be courageous enough to take pains to analyze those evidence that were tendered to it and ensure that a true, fair, credible, and reliable judgment is at the end of the day delivered.
Well, just a quick one. The tribunal noted that Okpebholo and the PDP failed to call key witnesses to support their claims and merely presented documents without a proper testimony. Legal minds disagree based on Section 137 of INEC's Electoral Act of 2024. What's your take on that?
Well, if you followed my opening statement, I said there are, in the Electoral Acts, particularly Section 137, which is now the main crux of the issue. That section already states that where you have certified true copies by the electoral body, you do not necessarily need a whole lot of oral testimonies anymore, because the certified true copies already speaks to the issues that you have raised in your petitions. And if you look at our evidence, there are documentary evidence compelling and certified and signed by INEC, certified by the electoral body, which speaks to the issues of non-compliance to the Electoral Act, issues of non-serialization of result sheets, issues of overvoting, issues of a whole lot of issues that were raised. So what we expected, or what was expected of the tribunal, was to analyze this documentary evidence. You cannot say a petitioner has raised issues in, let's say, 700 areas within the state, and you expect the same petitioner to provide 700 key witnesses in those areas. That would be a bogus demand. It will be bogus and unnecessary. The documentary evidence are already there. They are verifiable. You can verify them. The machines are there. You can verify them to marry them with the issues that have been raised. And if they appear to conform, I think the needful ought to have been done, rather than discretionally giving a judgment on issues that is as serious as this. Because that is what we see. It was more like a discretionary judgment without taking pains to analyze the documentary evidence before you. I don't understand, my brother.
And I want your reaction on this particular conversation. We're proud to now copies of an unsigned document, which many people have said probably, in the speculations that it's the judgment of a Edo State Governorship election petition tribunal. It surfaces online, and of course sparked controversies and controversial conversations and speculations, like I mentioned. When you saw that, what was your faith in the tribunal outcome? Did you believe it was going to favor PDP?
I was concerned, and I was also able to draw a lot of concerns from our people that this may be seen as a leaked judgment of what is to come. But there is no smoke without fire. Only yesterday, our party chairman, Dr. Tony Azigbemi, was on, I think yesterday or the day before, he was on a rise, and he said that there was not much concern, that he didn't make sense of it. I felt that it shouldn't be so. It shouldn't be so. I made a whole lot of sense of that leak. I am one of the very first persons to make that leak public. And when it went public, a whole lot of calls came from various quarters. Some person said it is fake. Some person said we should ignore and all of that. But I thought we should have gone further to draw the attention of relevant authorities on the leaked judgment of an action that has not even been taken. So I thought we should have gone further to draw the attention of relevant authorities to ensure that what would eventually play should not be seen to be what we have just seen. But you can see that it is exactly what's leaked that played out in the eventual judgment of the tribunal. So it was a play. So I don't know why the perpetrators of that did that, but I am sure that they did what they did because they already knew what was going to be in the eventual judgment of the tribunal. And that is what it is. But I thought that we as a party, and particularly as a party, should have gone further to draw the attention of relevant authorities to that document as soon as it came out that night.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, and its candidates are going to the appeal court. How will this case or this suit be properly tabled at the court this time around?
The election of September 21, 2024 is beyond Asue Dalu and Osaodionge. If you recall, the vast majority of Edo people that defied torrential rainfalls and the scorching sun on that day trooped out en masse to cast their votes and give their mandate freely to Asue Dalu and Osaodionge feel already disillusioned and robbed. The brazen criminality that took place on that day. And then we thought, the vast majority of Edo people thought, at home and abroad, thought that the tribunal would be able to fix that aspect, that part of the election. But that the tribunal appears to have even made the whole situation more complicated, gives us more strength and courage to approach an appellate court, because there is a strong belief amongst the vast majority of Edo people who, if you go to the streets of Edo, you would observe a silence. There is a general silence amongst Edo people, despite the party having been declared winner. I mean, the APC haven't been declared winner in the tribunal, but there is a silence. There is a general silence. If you go to the streets of Edo, apart from the party members of the APC, you don't have the Edo people on the streets of Edo celebrating or jubilating this what they call a tribunal victory. So there is a need, there is a pressing need to pursue this matter to a logical end and ensure that the discretionary judgment that the tribunal has given is reversed. Because you cannot manage a post-election matter on the basis of discretion. You must have to follow constitutional provisions to ensure that your judgment is impartial, your judgment is unbiased, and your judgment is credible and reliable for future references. So we have to go to the appeal court, and if need be, we will get to the Supreme Court and ensure that we follow it to the letter. We follow it to the spirit. It is not Okpebholo that is going to it is the dope people. We only have these two guys, Aswelgi, on the front line as the principal leaders of this movement, taking the matter on behalf of the vast majority of dope people to the courts. Now that the tribunal has given its judgment, thank God we still have 2 legs to go. So we strongly believe that there is a need to approach these legs and see that the correction is made, and if necessary, we go to the Supreme Court, and whatever comes out of it, we will take it. Edo people are ready to take it. But mind you, the victory that they have gotten at the tribunal is only being celebrated and acknowledged within their small space. The vast majority of Edo people are not with them. The vast majority of Edo people at home and abroad are not in this celebration with them. They are not jubilating with them. Even if you take a vox pop, I'm sure you'll be able to analyze the reactions of Edo people and see that it is only a small circle of members of the APC that are celebrating and jubilating over the recent development, not the actual Edo people who trooped out on March, September 21st, 2024 to freely give their mandate to the party and its candidates, Okpebholo and Osaodion.
All right, anyway, your party PDP, the governorship candidate, alleged improper computation of the votes by INEC, non-serialization of electoral materials, and overvoting. These are some of the things you mentioned. Are you looking at getting more witnesses to fight this properly at the appeal court?
There is no room for more evidence anymore across party lines, because it is already under hearing. There is no room. The appeal court will only look at the evidence before it. Same evidence that the tribunal had, same compelling evidence, certified true copies by INEC that the tribunal has. So that is what the appeal court is also going to be working with. But our concern is Section 137. There is a concerning issue of Section 137. Maybe I should just take a short read of what Section 137 says. Please listen. It says, "It shall not be necessary for a party who alleges non-compliance with the provisions of this act for the conduct of elections to call oral evidence." It shall not be necessary for the party to call oral evidence if originals or certified true copies manifestly disclose the non-compliance alleged. My brother, what are we looking at? What else are we looking at? What else are we looking at? The Electoral Act has said it shall not be necessary. It shall. It's more like a command. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. These are commanding statements. That is what the Electoral Act has said, that it shall not be necessary. So we are going to draw the attention of the appellate court to these acts, that there is no need. It's no longer necessary, because you will be belaboring yourself as a court when you have documentary evidence before you and you are still asking for oral evidence. What are you going to say? What do you want to hear? What do you want to hear? It's like not preparing for an exam. You have not prepared for an exam, and you are going to an exam hall with the confidence that you are going to have one or two of your friends to spy from to prepare your own answers. No, it doesn't work that way. The Electoral Act has said it shall not be necessary. It shall not be needful. There shall be no point anymore referring to oral evidence where you already have verifiable, certified true copies by the electoral body. What the tribunal needed to have done, if they were not sure that our citizens were actually from INEC, they should have gone ahead to verify and ensure that what they have before them are actually citizens of the electoral body that was responsible for conducting the September 21st, 2024 election. That is what they would have done, not giving your judgment on the basis of discretion. On the basis of discretion. That is what we think they did, and that is not right.
All right, a quick one. Do you really trust the appeal court and the Supreme Court of not, tilting and, of course, giving you the right judgment this time around?
Personally, I do. We do. We have to. We have to. I had a piece yesterday. What was the point invoking the Electoral Act if the judgment was not going to be given on the grounds of the provisions of the Act? The judgment should be given on the grounds of the provisions of the Act, not on the grounds of discretion, not on the grounds of hearsay, not on the grounds of what I know, not on the grounds of my many years of training in the legal community, not on the grounds of my position as a judge, not on the grounds of my position as one who has risen through the ranks and gotten to where I am today, and having the privilege and opportunity to discuss issues that concerns elections in Edo, governorship election in Edo. No, it shouldn't be on the basis of that. It should be on the basis of what we have as electoral act, what we have in the Constitution. And the Constitution has said in section 137 that there shall be no need. It shall not be necessary, especially when you have verifiable citizens by the body responsible for conducting the election. Depend on that to give your judgments. Rely on that to give your judgments. You cannot be relying on the non-provision of over 700 witnesses by the petitioner to give your judgments. That is bias. That means we shouldn't be seen living our lives or acting on the grounds of the Constitution that guides our life, that guides our activities, that guides our decisions as a people. What are you talking about?
Once again, thank you so much. But before you go, let's let's move straight away from this, and let's look at Edo State under Governor Monday Okpebholo'S watch. What would be your take? Trying to shift gear completely now. I want you to comment on the security situation in the state. The governor has been in Kano to liaise with the Kano government and commiserate with the victims of the Uromi killings. Your thoughts about it?
It's appalling. It's appalling. It's appalling. It's disgraceful. Edo people have resorted to self-help in securing or protecting themselves. Can you believe that in the last 5 months since this administration came on board, we have had 5 police commissioners? We just had I don't know if you are aware that the woman commissioner that was brought to Edo over a month ago has just been replaced by a new commissioner just yesterday. I don't know if you are aware. I'm sure you are already aware. We have had 5 commissioners. There has been killings. Over 200 persons have been killed since this administration came on board. This administration has no policy on anything as it concerns governance in Edo. Forget about it. I'd already told you. This administration has no policy. This administration has no plan. This administration has no program on anything. Name them. On security, no policy. On education, no policy. In fact, just after the president declared state of emergency on Rivers, we saw our governor going to one village school somewhere around town to declare a state of emergency on education. I don't know what that means. Since that declaration, not a block has been laid. State of emergency is the application of extraordinary measures to solve emerging issues. But one would have thought that just after that declaration, we'll see revolutionary reforms going on in the education sector in Edo. But that has not been. It's just to go there, talk on media, state of emergency, and the news media and all of that kind of media carries it, and that's where it ends. So this administration is running Edo on the basis of offhand. Running Edo on offhand is a reactionary administration, not proactive. When things happen, you just visit, talk, take selfies, do videos, and that is all. So there is nothing, my brother. A lot of Edo people are highly disappointed. They are disillusioned. They feel robbed because nothing is happening. In the education sector, nothing is happening. Edo is a state where you had countries like Namibia, where you had countries like Tanzania, where you had states like Lagos, where you had states like Bayelsa visiting Edo to understudy the Edo-based initiative to go and develop their own education. Edo is a state where you had states, before now, where you had states coming to understudy security architecture to go and improve their own. But we thought that with the height that Governor Obaseki left Edo, whoever was going to take it up from there should be someone that should take it higher. But Edo seems to have come down below. So I don't know where we are, but it is actually nothing going on in Edo, nothing. As in, nothing is going on. Even IGRO has depleted. You now have a non-state actors managing our IGRO. So you can understand what that means. In security, Edo people have resorted to self-help. They are not protecting themselves. In the area of education, in fact, educational reforms stopped when it stopped with the immediate past administration. Governor Obaseki-led administration. The official website for Edo state government, as we speak, is currently down. Nothing is happening there. So you can, other than social media and television and radio, you cannot actually access the Edo state government website to see activities. Actually, there are no activities, so there's nothing to access there apart from what you see they write on social media and all that. Nothing is going on in the area of development, infrastructural development, roads and all what have you. Nothing is going on. All the street lights that was built by the immediate past administration to illuminate the state and also act as form of security has all been demolished. The local government autonomy that we were also rejoicing about, that it has come, local government will now be able to develop at their own pace and be able to make their own policies and programs, has been demolished in Edo. So nothing is happening. We now have illegal acting local government chairmen across the 18 local government areas in Edo State who have no authority, who have no mandate, who have no legal backing to do nothing other than attending functions and all of that. So it's a sad tale for Edo, my brother. It's very, very unfortunate. Sad tale for Edo. As I speak with you, nothing is happening in Edo in terms of policy articulation, zero. In terms of security, zero. In terms of infrastructure, revolutionary infrastructure reforms, zero. In terms of attracting local and foreign investors to the state to see how we can expand our frontiers for cross-cultural development, it is zero. In terms of putting Edo at that height where people will become concerned and interested in Edo, see how they can buy into our policies and programs and plan, is zero. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Absolutely nothing. You are aware, you guys are aware, you are in the news. Have you ever reached out to this governor to come and speak on your TV or on your radio and he obliged? No, he cannot oblige because there's nothing to say. This is a governor that promised Edo people insecurity. And you can see what's happening in Edo. Over 200 persons have been killed in different mannerisms. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. So we thought that the tribunal will be able to save the soul of Edo and reposition Edo on the path of cross-cultural development. But the tribunal has done what it believes it's okay for them. Thank God we have other avenues to explore. So our lawyers are already putting the papers and all programs together to approach the appeal court. I think it's a space of 6 weeks, counting from the day the judgment of the tribunal was given. And we strongly believe that the appellate court will do the needful so that we can take back our states from this camp of incompetent persons who do not even know how to run a government. Rather, they are running government on the basis of offhand, on the basis of discretion, on the basis of what they think and all of that. Whereas there are laid down policies in running a state. Edo is a very complex state. It's not a state you can run offhand. You must follow the laid down policies and programs. We have a 35-year development program that has been discarded now by this government. It has been discarded. We have a policy on civil service reforms. It has been discarded. We have a policy on technology reforms. It has been discarded. We have a policy on security reforms. It has been discarded, all by this administration. Then where are we left as Edo people, my brother? We are left at no point, nowhere. Self-help measures to see how we can help ourselves. And that's currently what's happening in Edo under this administration.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Comrade Yososa. Thank you so much for your time on this program today. We appreciate you. We hope when we call you, you'll be available again one more time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll be looking at the Lincoln killings in Benue State. Do stay with us.